what's going on this morning so we can share it out with everybody else so they know exactly what happened in the meeting. I'm going to start by reading you guys something.
Inspirational quote.
I just wanted to compliment both of you and anyone else involved with prom. It is such a smooth event, and the officers here and I are impressed with the behavior of your students. I work with all college students all year, and your event is better organized and behaved than most of these events. I'm not sure what you are doing, but good job. Keep it up. Thank you, Austin Fannin, Event Coordinator, University Center and Special Events, Texas A&M University. That's the guy who we are working with. That is what he said about prom last year. At this point, that will not be the letter that we get from them this year. There has not been consistent communication and involvement. And so at this point, we're having this meeting, and this will probably be the last junior class meeting that we have because these meetings are not effectual. What we are going to do is break this up into committees, which I'll share with you here in a little bit, and then we will talk about exactly what's going to happen moving forward. Most of you who are here this morning, who are present, have been involved and active, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys being here. A lot of you who are not here this morning have also been involved. However, what's falling apart at this point is we are still 3.5 months out, basically, from prom, which seems like a long time, but it's not. And communication's not happening, people are not responding to group me's and those kind of things. So we're gonna try to figure out some other stuff. That's part of the reason why we're doing committee heads, is so we can consolidate the efforts and put people in charge, and those people can respond to me. Harrison is not here this morning, but he did send the list of people who are gonna be the leaders, the committee heads, and he's probably gonna put together a group me specific for committee heads so that we can communicate through that. We'll see if that's more effective. But I will tell you this, if you are a committee head moving forward, my expectation for you is that you communicate directly with me and Harrison. If you cannot get a hold of Harrison, you still communicate directly with me regardless, because we need to know what's going on. There does not need to be any gaps in this. There does not need to be any time wasted on what's going on. So before we go into these official dates, I'm going to go ahead and show you who the committee heads are. At this point, these are the committee heads that we have. Sam and Will are handling food. That basically means at this point, you guys need to get together with Parsi and say, hey, we would like to know if you guys are still willing to do our catering for prom. The thing is, this is not like other Stuco dances. We can't just say, hey, somebody bring drinks and food. It has to be catered. That is the rule of the university. So we go through Ms. Parsi in the culinary department there, but she needs time to prepare. So you guys will also be in charge of talking with her, making sure that's good, and start putting together ideas for a menu of what it could look like and what it could be. So come on in. So what I want you to do is make absolutely certain that you make contact with her soon. Advertising, Rosetta and Tiffany. The big thing on this is before Christmas break, we had together a back and forth on what the advertising announcement was gonna look like for the prom theme. We never actually got that out. Part of that is falling on me. I should have put that down and made sure it was taken care of. Well, we need to get that out. Like, we need to get that out yesterday. So wrap that up as soon as possible, you guys. Send it to me, let me make sure it looks good and we've got the correct verbiage and the correct dates and everything else on there, and then we'll get that sent out. But so you guys have already been working, so keep working on that, and I'll give you the dates for when we need to have advertising stuff ready to go. So we have that down. Susan, decorations, I know Susan has been working on some stuff and getting some ideas together, so continue to do that. And
Who can I contact? Or
who can you contact?
who can I contact in my committee that I can ask?
Harrison has a list of who all is in those groups, I believe, but I don't have that.
Kyla's helping too, and I was wanting to know. She
Oh,
wants
that's
to make
great.
decorations, and I had some
Okay,
questions
I'm
on
gonna
that.
definitely make a group meeting and then add everybody who's
Something that she may not know, and I just want to ask because it's relevant to what I was like thinking table-wise. How many tables do y'all set up normally for,
So we will
like,
have
that
a
we have a
setup.
table?
Yeah,
per
there's a
day?
set number of tables that we get every year, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
I
But-
will go get the planning sheet, send the picture out to everybody, and
If
then
I'm, like, I was thinking, I was gonna have somebody start cutting those logs
that'll
to
be so
use
great.
on
I was
the
definitely
thing, and I was
thinking
just
for
gonna
low
split them.
tables, that'd be
For,
great.
yeah, and I just wanna know if I need 20 or if I need 50.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah. I think it's I can't remember what it is. Mishler is the one who she has a list of
Okay.
everything like that, and
That
I
was
may
my
have it in my
biggest-
computer
okay,
somewhere,
that was
but my
biggest
computer's not
question.
cooperating.
As soon as possible, I'm gonna give
So
him
you're using that for
cutting those up.
I will, as soon as possible, maybe today, I'll go get the,
During period.
uh,
Yeah.
so
Cause I have a young kid who comes and chops wood for me, and I want him to cut those, and I just
Okay.
want to be able to give him that.
So the rest of this, what I want to tell you guys is this. Here's the dates. Theme, we need to announce it as soon as possible, so we need to finalize that. If you guys wanna hang around, we can talk about that real quick. Send me something as soon as you can on what you think about it, and then I can respond to that. Making contact, food. By February 14th, you need to have made contact with Parsi and confirm that she is willing to continue to work with us as far as this is going, and maybe even have some ideas of what kind of food they wanna do. The food needs to reflect the theme. Like last year, it was black and white, so all of the food was food colored black and white. And so that was what we went with. So kind of think about that along the lines of wood. If you wanna make like woodland butterflies made out of candy, whatever, I don't care. But figure out something. Parsi, that's Parsi. Clinkscales, February 14th. We basically need to get, you need to get in touch with her and find out if they're willing to do the flowers, the floral arrangements for us like they have in the past. And kind of get together an idea. You'll both need to figure out like costs, like how much are they gonna charge us for it. So we need to know how much they're expecting us to pay them to cover their expenses. Picture people. I need to talk to Mishler and see if she has somebody in line for us. If she does, we need to contact them as soon as possible to secure the date. If she does not, we have a couple of people in mind that might be able to do that. Chase Zamulinski is a former student here. I had talked to him last year, but it was too close to prom and we weren't able to get it. But he does photography on the side. Also Bailey Payne does, I think. And these are also former students that we might be able to get for a little bit cheaper. If we are going to use a photographer and it's not one that Mishler has found, we need to get in touch with them pretty soon.
And
So.
that's the pay raise I can come.
Cool. But hold off on that. Let me make sure Mishler hasn't have somebody else lined up. But when I do, I'll let you know. So cool, thanks. Approve ticket and ad designs by March 1st. The reason why those two need to be done together is because tickets and ads need to look similar. They need to work together. They need to coordinate. And so in the past, it's basically been the ticket has been a smaller version of the big posters. And so we want to just kind of have something like that lined up. Playlist. We need to have a good playlist this year. That doesn't have a date on it, but my guess is about a month before prom, we need to have it sent to the DJ, which means by April 10th, we need to have it sent to him. So by the end of March, I need to have a copy of our total playlist, like everything that people have submitted and what's going on, so that I and the administration and Coach K can observe it and say, nope, that's not appropriate, we can't do that. So, yeah.
I'm in 5 minutes late for something else, but just really quick for the playlist, should we get something approved in which we can get it on the announcements or some kind of thing where people can submit their Google Doc?